Welcome to the Hermit Poetry Series. I'm Neil Aitken, and this channel revolves around contemporary poetry for the most part. Usually I read work by others, occasionally I read my own work, and once in a while I will dip into a different time period and share some great work from the past. Today's poem comes from one of America's great poets, Brigit Pegeen Kelly, from her book Song, and is the title poem, Song. Listen. There was a goat's head hanging by ropes in a tree. All night it hung there and sang, and those who heard it felt a hurt in their hearts and thought they were hearing the song of a night bird. They sat up in their beds, and then they lay back down again. In the night wind the goat's head swayed back and forth, and from far off it shone faintly the way the moonlight shone on the train track miles away, beside which the goat's headless body lay. Some boys had hacked its head off. It was harder work than they had imagined. The goat cried like a man and struggled hard, but they finished the job. They hung the bleeding head by the school and then ran off into the darkness which seems to hide everything. The head hung in the tree. The body lay by the tracks. The head called to the body to the head. They missed each other. The missing grew large between them, until it pulled the heart right out of the body, until the drawn heart flew towards the head, flew as a bird flies back to its cage, and the familiar perch from which it trills, and then the heart sang in the head, softly at first, then louder, sang long and low, until the morning light came up over the school and over the tree, and then the singing stopped. The goat had belonged to a small girl. She named the goat Broken Thorn Sweet Blackberry, named it after the night's bush of stars, because the goat's silky hair was dark as well water, because it had eyes like wild fruit. The girl lived near a high railroad track. At night she heard the trains passing, the sweet sound of the train's horn pouring softly over her bed, and each morning she woke to give the bleeding goat his pail of warm milk. She sang him songs about girls with ropes and cooks in boats. She brushed him with a stiff brush. She dreamed daily that he grew bigger, and he did. She thought her dreaming made it so, but one night the girl didn't hear the train's horn, and the next morning she woke to an empty yard. The goat was gone. Everything looked strange. It was as if a storm had passed through while she slept, wind and stones, rain, stripping the branches of fruit. She knew someone had stolen the goat and that he had come to harm. She called to him all morning and into the afternoon. She called and called. She walked and walked. In her chest a bad feeling, like the feeling of the stones gouging the soft undersides of her bare feet. Then somebody found the goat's body by the high tracks, the flies already filling their soft bottles at the goat's torn neck. Then somebody found the head hanging in a tree by the school. They hurried to take these things away so that the girl would not see them. They hurried to raise money to buy the girl another goat. They hurried to find the boys who had done this, to hear them say, "It was a joke, it was nothing but a joke." But listen, here's the point. The boys thought to have their fun and to be done with it. It was harder work than they had imagined, this silly sacrifice, but they finished the job, whistling as they washed their large hands in the dark. What they didn't know was that the goat's head was already singing behind them in the tree. What they didn't know was that the goat's head would go on singing just for them, long after the ropes were down, that they would learn to listen, pail after pail, stroke after patient stroke. They would wake in the night thinking they heard the wind in the trees or a night bird, but their hearts beating harder. There would be a whistle, a hum, a high murmur, and at last a song, the low song a lost boy sings, remembering his mother's call. Not a cruel song. No, not cruel at all. This song is sweet. It's sweet. The heart dies of this sweetness. Thank you. Once again, this is by Brigit Pegeen Kelly from her book Song, published back in 1995. I highly recommend this book. This is an amazing book. If you enjoyed this reading and other readings that I've been doing, please subscribe and check back often. I have new content regularly, usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and occasionally some bonus content. If there are poems you'd like to recommend or things that you'd like me to try reading, I'd be happy to give them a try. Please just comment below and I'll give it a go, okay? And until next time, stay safe and stay well, and we'll meet again soon. Thanks.